Alright, chaps. Let's ruin some fucking lives. Alright. Let's fucking get cracking then. Alright. I've played this to the end now. I beat it yesterday, and now I'm going to try and do the whole thing in one go. So, here we go. Brand new game. Brand new game of Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy, the remake of the original. There's not going to be a lot of positive reviews about this. I am doing a full review on the main channel, just comparing the first original game to this, and my general opinions on what they have done to it.
Moron! This Bandicoot will be my general, and he will lead my Cortex commandos to world domination. This time, I shall reign triumphant.
They share the same voice actor, it seems.
We are closer than ever before. Quickly, into the vortex.
Plus, this is some fucking B-movie style voice acting either way, so...
We have no idea what it could do.
Failure again. Capture him.
Uh-oh.
Prepare.
I think the only piece of really accurate voice acting was Crash, and there's like one line, like 2 words. The rest of it is just sort of like they don't sound like them, like all the other characters in the game. I don't know why they couldn't just get well, yeah, actually, I think because Naughty Dog would probably just like go, fuck off. No, we're not letting you do that. Right. So, I have many issues with this game. Most of them are based on the fact that the controls aren't really the same. I mean, the buttons are the same, right? Don't get me wrong there. The buttons are the same, but the way the controls handle, the way Crash does things, isn't the same as it was in the original. You really have to fucking push the button hard to get him to do a proper jump. And it becomes frustrating very fast. Plus, there are certain exploits I used to be able to get away with, like, I used to rely on the fact that there was low accuracy for the hitboxes on, like, the high road and stuff like that, the ones where you're, like, running along the bridge. Like, I used to rely on the fact that that it wouldn't, like, it would only just register where I was landing, I guess, because I can't think of another reason why it sucks so bad. Because like you have to be stupidly accurate now. If you're even a little bit off, the game's just like, nah, fuck you. That's it. I'm used to seeing that. And then I get fucking Aku smug face looking at me all the way through the game like, hey baby. How you doing? You going back to the cocktail lounge? Can't we just hang here? Alright. The first island, I'm not gonna lie, the first island is really, really easy in this. And then once you get the second island, that's when the shit starts hitting the fan. I struggled relentlessly with the second island. There was a part in one of the, you know where it said, like, spin the boxes, it's deadly and stuff like that or whatever. There was a point where it says sometimes, want old school controls? And I was like, yes! Yes, I do! Oh my god, give me the old school controls back! And it goes, try using the D-pad. And I was like, are you kidding me? No. What's the point? Why can't I just, like, isn't there, I was hoping it was going to be sort of like, oh, go into the menu and enable this, and you'll get, like, you know, the way Crash used to move and respond, rather than like whatever shit they've decided to do. Like, it's taken me a long time to get used to it, but basically what I've realised is because Traveller's Tales did this game, it pretty much handles the exact same way as Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex on PS2 or whatever you got it on. And it really does. It plays almost exactly like that, rather than the original. So what we seem to have here is like a game, well, 3 games actually, with the controls of a completely different game. Too good. This used to be like my favourite level in the game. I don't know why, it's just the one I have the most fond memories of. But like, I don't have fond memories of this yet. I don't have any good memories of this so far. It shows you that every single time now. Like, unless you get perfect, but then it still shows you something. It doesn't just move right on, and it takes much longer to load. But I guess it's because they've made it especially pretty. But like, if you compare the loading times to the PS1 and how long it takes it to load its game, and its infinitely, less powerful console, PlayStation 1 just like blasts through this like load. I'd be playing the level by now. That's the point I'm getting to. I'd be in the level. I would be having fun. I'd be probably halfway through the level probably by now. So I think one of the worst problems I have with this. Okay, so it says hold to bounce higher. It's true, right? You can. Boy, does it sometimes make it fucking hard for you to do it. The thing is, I've played it a fair amount. I'm much better at it. So like, hopefully I'm not gonna have the same sort of problems I had. Oh no, so well. I'm not gonna have the same sort of problems I had with the other one. The only thing that I know that I'm gonna have a problem with is Ripperoo. And we're going to talk about Ripperoo when I get to Ripperoo. The worst part is I've still got to play Crash 2 and 3. I've not even started them yet. Actually, I did start 2, but I only just decided to give it a little go while I was, waiting around, I guess. Is my general opinion of the game. Like, it's good, but like, it's more like a facsimile than... There's not much point getting all of these because you can't get all of these until you have the gem, and I think that would really fuck with some people. Like, what the fuck? How did I miss 3 boxes? They're saying to themselves. Like, look, I got every box that I could see, and I'm still missing like 9 boxes. That would really piss a lot of people off. They can't figure out what they need to have to get further. And the worst part about it is they still have the bullshit rule that, like, you have to do it without dying. So, like, even if you get all the boxes in the level, but you die once, and you go back and get those boxes, then I don't think it will let you have it. So, in that respect, I think it's actually kind of harder. So, one part that I think is even harder about this game... Like, it feels like at certain points they've gone like, well, we'll make this bit easier for modern gamers, or whatever. because apparently just loads of people have been bitching that it's really hard. And then other people have been like, and then they've sort of in other sections they're like, well, we'll make this deliberately harder for no reason. Right, so like this is pretty easy, right? The first boulders is pretty easy. But when you get to Boulder Dash, it gets stupidly hard because like he can't. It feels like the boulder is constantly gaining on Crash. Oh shit, I didn't get that. Oh, but he did. Why am I bothering getting that? Like, these platforms are really big in this. Also, I don't like the remastered music in this particular, level. I used to love the sound of that, like, warhorn didgeridoo. It used to sound fucking awesome. But it's sort of like, you can't really hear it in this one. There you go, look, we got a gem. Hey. Although that's not quite the same. I know it's good, but it's not quite the same. Although, like, there are certain things you can just expect not to be the same. In fact, you can expect a lot of it not to be the same, but, like, what are you gonna do? God fucking look at him again. Just floating around, mocking me. Yeah, I'm gonna take a fucking decade to load this time. Right. The thing is, I kind of like the jazzier version of this sound, like the music on this level, but like, I prefer the original. There are a couple that are actually better, like where the remastered one is like sounds so much nicer. I'm not like that bad in the nostalgia that I can't acknowledge that like, wow, they've done a really good job with this. Another thing that kind of pisses me off is like, in the PlayStation 1 version of this, right? When you saw the river, you could not see the bottom of the river, so you could understand that Crash drowned because you have no idea how deep this water is. But like in this one, it's like, wow, I could fucking wade my way out of that. That might not even come up to his head. Like, it doesn't look that deep. It really don't. I can't just rush through the levels like I used to either. I have to really take my time with some of these, otherwise I will make mistakes. And I will suffer for those mistakes. How does she manage to get to this tree? Like, every time she's like, hey, yeah, I got here for the bonus level, Crash. And then Cortex is like, for fuck's sake, she got out again. Quick, kidnap her. Again. I can't believe you fucking got away again. Unbelievable. You goons are useless. Yep, still missing 3 because there's like 3. I don't think there's 3 boxes up. I'm not sure actually. I can't remember where the 3 boxes are. I think there's just a bunch. There's like a like 2 different places where you need gems to get to certain areas. So like earlier on there was the ones under the waterfall, and I'm not sure if there are boxes under there or there are just lives under there. But I think that I think it's the second set, the one near the end of the level that like takes you onto a different, slightly harder part of the level. And there's more. So Papu Papu is even easier in this one. Despite having a much larger hitbox, like he's got like a much larger health gauge. Right? Fuck it, you don't even have to wait anymore. What if there's a fucking time trial on this one? There you go, that's it. Like, there was like a cool-off period in the original where, like, if you tried jumping on him immediately after you'd already tried jumping on him, he'd hurt you instead. So, like, the game was like, oh, no, no, no. You ain't gonna get to that easy. So another thing that, like, you'll notice there's a new little branching path there, and basically the little branching path allows you to play as Coco. And Coco plays almost exactly the same as Crash. There's no real difference, there's just a different character. Because if it played any different, I think it would probably be unfair. People would be like, well, let's not play as Crash, let's play as Coco, you know. So, like, this is the one where I first started noticing, like, how different some of the levels are. Right, so like majority of this level is like designed exactly the same, right? I can't say that it isn't, because it is. But like when you get to oh shoot. Right, that one's pretty small. And this one's pretty small. Like look at the hole there, that's a daunting task for anybody. But like this thing's really fucking big. It's huge. And I don't know why. Like that one's huge as well. Like these actual platforms are really big. Like that one's small. So that one requires some vague skill. But then this one's big again. I don't understand why like certain ones are absolutely minute and other ones are totally huge. Oops. That was nothing up there that I needed. Just showing off now. Oops. I think with more time and practice, I could probably get as good at this as I was with the original. But I don't think it would ever be as impressive, you know? I think the original, because of it's faster, it's harder in many ways. It's more of a daunting task to a lot of people. I think, the original. I was never any fucking good at these levels. Did it though? See, there's no gem in this level, so I could, in theory, get everything. But I won't, for some unknown reason. Oh no, there is a gem in this level, isn't there? Shit, there is. So even though I did all that and I got the bonus round and everything, I still missed 6 boxes. You have to have the blue gem, and the blue gem will take you down into one of the holes, and then at the bottom of the holes there'll be like a couple of live boxes, and that's all that's down there. But like without the blue gem, you can't get down there, you can't get the live boxes, you can't get all the boxes, and then you can't get the gem anyway. So like it's like a circle. Don't got a gem, can't get a gem. That's basically what it boils down to. So this level's a little infuriating, which is a shame because it's like one of my... everyone fucking loves Hog Wild. Hog Wild is like one of the best fucking levels in the game. But like, what pisses me off about it is the fact that he's just not... He doesn't turn from left to right as fast as you'd hope. He's downright slow moving from left to right. But like one thing they do give you in a way that's really helpful is they let you... You don't have to get as close to the boxes. You don't have to hit them dead on. Shit. There we go. I knew I was going to fuck that up. I went too far. See, now I've lost the gem. I can't get the gem now because I died, right? Now, how unfair is that? Even if I got all the boxes before it, and all the boxes after my death, then why would it disallow me the gem, right? Feels like, I don't know, like, it feels unfair. I don't understand that one either. Like, I've had that happen to me a bunch of times, that one. It feels like a death that isn't my fault. Like, there are just certain parts of this that don't feel like they're my fault. Like, I feel like I'm clearly jumping in time. Maybe it's the perspective of it going around the corner. Oh, I did get the gem, even though I died. Twice. See? Perfect. Let's keep going. Oh, go away, people. Right, now Native Fortress is by far the hardest level on the first island. Like, the thing is, the Great Gate is like a sign of things to come because this is so much harder in almost every respect. The first time I played this, like, I brought it down to my family and I was like, hey, look, they made a new Crash Bandicoot game, and they were like, ooh, ah. And I was trying to you know, go like, see, I was just trying to feel out the game, like see if it was the same as it was, and I learned quite quickly that it wasn't. But one thing that I did learn was that this was still hard as balls. Oh shit, I feel like that. The one thing I like about this is it just keeps on going up. Like, this level in general. Like, I'm not saying it about this specific game, but like, because it does it in both. But like, it just feels like you're climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing, and then go all the way to the left, and then climbing and climbing and climbing. I don't understand why they even have that there. Like, either they're just really shit at like making walkways. Well, that went well. I wasn't expecting that to go that way. This guy is such a pain in the ass because he just randomly stops in front of you sometimes. He doesn't work like the old one did. The old one just ran at you. And then once you jumped on top of him, which that one was fairly easy. He's hard. Like, that guy's actually harder in this than he is in the original. Based on his... That is something that I never thought I would be able to do in this one, but it is actually possible. Yay! I know I'm doing pretty good right now. We've got to wait till I get to Ripperoo. I know I'm doing good now. But like, fucking wait till I get to Ripperoo. Like that's the first sign. That was the first time that I realized that there was something wrong. Like, there was a fundamental change in something that I relied on to get through the level, right? I can argue for the most part that a lot of this stuff is mostly the same, right? A lot of the systems work in the same way. The jumping is a little off, right? That's the only thing that I'll say. The jumping is a little off. It's not the same. It's not quite as responsive. Like, you can't quite control it the way that you used to be able to. That's something that I can say. Like, the jumping ain't quite right. The spinning's still fine. Everything else, like, the attacks and stuff like that is still fine. The jumping, however, like, you're never quite sure what you're gonna get with it. But, like, with well, I mean, like, the first couple of times, like, if you compare it, then, you know, basically, if you're used to one, you're not gonna be very used to the other. Oh fuck! Shit! I don't know why I jumped. I jumped from like near the middle of that fucking slide. No, there go both my masks. Whoa! For the most part, I gotta say everything works pretty well. But you wait till I get to Ripperoo, because I'm not going to have anything good to say about it by the time I get to Ripperoo. But I can explain, now that I've played it, I can explain why, like, I don't think certain parts are right, or I've understood why certain things are wrong now, like. After failing at it like 20-something times, I can finally look at it and go like, well, this sucks because X reason, or like, this isn't right because Y reason. Oh, shit. That was my bad. Is this the part I've already done? I'm kind of, you know, I've done this a couple of times now, haven't I? The thing is about the high jump, I'm gonna say, I don't know really what I'm saying. The thing is about the high jump is like you have to push X exactly at the right time whilst on the platform. You can't just like hope to jump higher after you've already like jumped off the object, obviously. So if you fuck up and you try like you're trying to make like a hopeless gap, then you're gonna die, and that's basically what I did. I didn't push X at the right time. I didn't hold it. Even though I tried holding it, like it didn't make a slightest bit of difference. I fell to my death. All right, there we go. Oh, Naughty Dog, you are so generous. the one thing that's a little disorientating about this is that like he seems to like when you push X, when you hold X to jump higher, he doesn't always like unless if you're moving left and right, then he seems to have like an extra boost on top of that. It's kind of hard to explain. It's really kind of hard to explain. Like, it feels like that at a certain point, like, it looks like he's going to reach the height of his jump, and it doesn't look like it's enough. But if you turn left, if you, like, you know, try and swerve left at the top of the jump, then he gets a little bit of extra height for some reason. At least that's what it looks like. I don't know. Dude, go away. The thing is, as long as all the patterns are still the same, there's not the only thing that I would have that's a problem is the controls, and that's the main reason that I don't like Ripperoo, because the patterns aren't the same. The thing is, you've still got essentially the same level of difficulty, just with an extra level of unpredictability. I can never be quite sure exactly what Crash is going to do, but like I'm learning slowly to, you know, get used to how he handles now. Or I've started calling him Fake Crash because I'm still really glad they made this game. I'm not ungrateful that they, you know, I think loads of people, I think everyone should fucking play Crash Bandicoot. But like, at the same time, I realise what they've done here is they've tried, but they've not done, it's not perfect. It's good, but it's not perfect. I'm not going to bother with the exclamation mark box. Just don't care. What does it do? What does it do? And they're still really, like, over the top with lives in this. But the thing is, like, it's the same thing. Like, all the boxes, in theory, should contain the same, you know, things that they did in the original. Anyway, this hit is one of the most complicated timing parts in the entire game. Because you've got the fish to compensate for, you've got the plant to compensate for, then you've got the leaf. So, like, if you fuck up the first part, then you'll just die straight away. If you fuck up the second part, if you jump past the fish and then land on the thing but don't have the time to jump onto the leaf, then you're going to get killed. Like, or, worst part... That's great, Crash. Thanks. There's just so many things to go wrong here. Like that. See? I don't know why I tried that. I didn't spin fast enough. So you can spin the fish, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have tried. Unless I was just really stupid, I was like, oh, maybe I could do that. If I knew I couldn't do it but gave it a go anyway, like... Another one of my favourite things that you can do in this one is guide crash in midair. He doesn't... You can't... I don't think you can push him as far as you could in the original. Like, the physics don't seem to work the same. For at least that part. Oh, fuck that up. I lost where I was. I wouldn't have to do that anyway. I don't have time for that. It's nice to know that this is still a fair challenge for gamers in, you know, fucking 16 out of 48. He's gonna have the shit kicked out of him in this fucking part. $32. At least he survived. At least he made it. He could have died. Could have died. Here we go. Right, now I'm just going to say off the bat, the main reason why this level is more difficult than the original one is because the timing of the TNT boxes is much, much slower. You have a much longer time to wait before they explode. So you have to compensate far more than you do in the original, right? So I'm going to do a comparison later on, like in a review, but right now I'm just going to show you the, like, how long it takes. Right, it's good that it still catches him at the midpoint, because that would really suck if it didn't. See, now he's moved way past by the time I got to that. Thing is, I just have to get. It's not that difficult to get over, but like my mind for the first time I played this, I couldn't comprehend it. I couldn't understand why it was going so wrong. I still think this part is the hardest part. Nope. Oh, I got him. I did get him. I wasn't expecting to get him from the way that went. It didn't look like it was gonna... Okay. Alright, let's keep going. I did that pretty easily actually this time. Last time I literally, my brain could not comprehend it because I just see what I tend to do is like I see the level and I know how to do it because I've been doing it for the last 10 something years. But when I like actually have a go at it, I'm like screwing up because I can't figure out where I'm going wrong. I'm like trying to tackle it in the same way that I did when I was like fucking 8. So and it just doesn't work. The timings are different. The way that like the systems in the game are different. The way that like, you know, the patterns aren't the same. In that respect, I would never be able to do it if I kept trying to do it the same way. I would just constantly fail, and that's basically what I did until I got a game over fighting Ripperoo, and I was just, honestly, I was just so fucking frustrated, and I couldn't figure out where I was going wrong. Part of me actually quite likes the remastered soundtrack in this one. Oh shit, I didn't get the other one. Oh, it don't matter. Bonus round, who cares? Lives are more important. You only lose life in bonus rounds. Plus, it's probably gonna be. It's one of the harder bonus rounds, so it'll be one of those ones that I'll give one go at and then fuck up immediately. Oh shit! Almost ran off the edge there. Like this, they come down much faster now than they used to. Oh balls, that was close. I got the wrong one. I got the fucking bonus round token instead of the life. Part of me likes that. Like part of me is like, that's fucking great. But then like, not all of me. I'm torn between like the splat the face on the floor like an idiot and like the really cool nonchalant. Yeah, I just fell like 40 feet onto a concrete floor. I'm fine. I'm fine. No point. I didn't bother doing the box, so there's no point going through that. Uh-oh. Fucking controller wasn't designed for this sort of abuse. Sorry, I will okay, boy. If I can figure out how to plug it in. Doesn't know. I just plugged it in. How could you not know? It doesn't understand. Something's going on. Not sure what it is. Oh no, it's charging. There we go. Alright. I'm not gonna lie, I think I've run out of everything I can possibly say in the extreme rage and frustration I was feeling when I played the game the other day. Wow, 30 out of 82. I know there were a load of boxes in that bonus round. I think I didn't get the other bonus round at all, but shit. I missed 50 boxes. That's going to be especially hard on Crash's head. Oh my god. Look at him. great, but you missed 52 boxes. Like, is that good? Is it? Or is it just fucking insulting? Great, but you missed 52 boxes. That's not great. That's fucking... I missed more than I got. That's not an achievement, is it? That's like... Shame on you. You missed fucking 52 boxes. That's what it should say. It shouldn't go like that. Like, oh, you did a really good job. Nice job. But, oh, unfortunately, you didn't even get half of what you missed. Alright. So this is one of the ones that I think I actually like the soundtrack in this one better. I mean, a lot of it's vaguely this. A lot of it's pretty similar. Like, they did a really good job with some of them, replicating them. I like that little organ. I don't know why. I always associate organs with, like, Monkey Island in the Caribbean. Don't know why. Done goofed there. So one thing that's different is these things, right? I mean, this one is pretty basic. If I fuck that up, I'll be pretty ashamed of myself. But like, when we get to Jaws of Darkness, I keep on wanting to call it Heart of Darkness because of that game. But when we get to Jaws of Darkness, there's a part where you have to like try and get through 4 of them. Here we go. You know, the thing is, if you don't know, right, if you don't know that's going to be there, the first time you see those apples trailing off to the left, you're like, I wonder why they're there. And then if you tentatively step over the edge because you think you're going to fucking die, but then like there's a box there and you're like, holy shit. And then you just keep going and you're like, oh my god. Like, I'm walking on sunshine. Like you're like getting up, like just wandering over there to discover that, oh man, there's a treasure trove of boxes over here. My judgment of these is always a little off. Possibly. I don't know, I had a fucking hard time doing that last night. I'm glad I'm doing really good now that I'm recording it, but like, I'm still kind of bitter that I had such a hard time the other day, and now it's just sort of like, oh, this is just a fucking breeze. Although maybe I think you have to beat the game once to get good enough with the controls to beat the game. Oh, I slipped right off that. You can see, like, there's like an obvious slipping range. Oh shit, no, this is the way I came, isn't it? Okay. Missed me, asshole. There's like an obvious like range where like if you're not quite on, you sort of like you watch yourself slip off. Aw, come on. That was the first flame, the little flame, not the big flame. You're just fucking hustling me, man. Getting fucking hustled by a PlayStation 4 game. You have to be pretty damn specific. That's the problem with some of these jumps. I can't power through this like I used to. Like, if I don't get it dead on, I'll slip and that'll be it. There we go. I got a gem? Holy shit, I got a gem. I wasn't fucking expecting that. Damn. Alright. Let me just brush this fucking... Let me just brush off my shoulder. What the fuck? How did I get a gem? Alright, whatever. Nice. Wasn't even going for a gem. I just got one. You see, what's this bullshit that it goes on about without dying? I died a couple of times in that. Right? I died a couple of times in fucking Hog Wild as well. What it used to do, I'm not sure if this is... actually, I don't know what's going on now, right? Because, like... I swear, like, in the original game, even if you, like... okay, so in the first level, there's only one checkpoint in the first level. Like, if you die on the second part of the level, and then it sets you back to the midway point, all the boxes before that checkpoint get reset, right? But like, I've done this now. I've died a couple of times in like Whole Hog and stuff. Oh shit, fuck that one up. Right, this level is difficult, so I'm probably not going to say a great deal to this unless it's whinging and complaining that the level was difficult. Took me a long time to get through this. Literally, I'm going to say yesterday afternoon I had not beaten this level. But now it seems relatively easy. Or maybe I am just so much more used to the controls. You do have to be more specific though. You can't just rely on like long jumping your way through everything. It's more of a like a test of skill than I guess the original one was. The original one was like a test of how well you, how well you can do patterns. Like jumping at the right time. It was timing more than anything. It wasn't like precision like this is. Even though it's essentially the same. Ooh. I didn't think I was gonna make it, so I tried to pull him back a bit because I thought I was gonna overshoot it, but instead I just fucking fell to my death because I didn't overshoot it. I undershot it. There we go. Oh, well, fuck. I ran right into him. Is this the part I've been doing? I've kind of... I don't know, looking at the boards... Oh, you know, it is the part I've been doing, isn't it? Alright, I nailed that. As if this isn't, like, the fucking hardest part of the level. I'm gonna die a bunch of times here, because, like, I can do this part, but, like, the timing between the hog and, like... is difficult, to say the least. The thing is, it's not like I can just... Well, maybe I can on the other part. There are certain things that still work. Like this. Ah, shit. I moved. I must have moved to the... rolled my finger slightly to the right. My thumb, even. If I played the game with my fingers, Christ, that'd be even harder. I don't use my thumbs for this shit, man. I use my fucking fingers playing Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, I'm such a fucking hardcore gamer. Ah. Yeah, I'm gonna waste a load of lives here. I'd like to give you a mask, like that's gonna help. Actually, it might help with the hog, but it's not gonna help with the more numerous peril, which is falling down a hole. Twice. I'm trying to jump too far. I'm trying to jump too far. No, I'm not jumping. I'm not jumping far enough now. Well, fuck, I can afford to. Oh, but I nailed it anyway. I was like, well, I'm alright now because I've got the mask. And I'm like, well, guess it doesn't matter because I just went and did it without the mask. Fuck the law. Here we go. Lift off. More anticlimactic than I was anticipating. My expectations weren't high, but they were. Well, they certainly weren't that. All right. Now the fucking turtles, I find the most annoying part of this level because, like, the turtles are just. You move so. I'm trying to center myself on it. Like, you seem to be so sensitively moving. Ah, fuck. Ah, fuck you. Just do using routes. I wonder how many people, you know, how many people are like discovering that for the first time. You know, they're like, oh, I can ride on the ropes. That's fucking awesome, man. I really hope there are people who are like absolutely blown their mind because I can run along the road. Right. Boulder Dash, right, here we go. Here's one of the ones that I couldn't figure out what was going wrong. I just simply didn't understand what was happening because I kept on getting squashed by the boulder, but I wasn't hitting anything. So I was really kind of confused. And it's this time, instead of just like, okay, so obviously in the original, if you hit an item, it will slow you down considerably, right? But like, as long as you didn't hit any items, you were fine. But in this one, if you don't jump far enough or try and like maximize the amount of, you know, distance you can get from jumping between objects, then like the boulder will crush you, right? So you really have to try hard to get through it. It's a game that requires more skill and precision than it does, like, you know, timing. Like, I can't just do little jumps. I have to try and do like the biggest possible. Fuck me, that was close. The biggest possible jump that I can, whilst also not hitting any items, right? So I'm not. You'll notice like the boulder's fucking catching up on me, even though I've not actually. Look how close it is to me, right? I didn't touch anything there. I didn't hit any of those things, but I'm gonna get squashed. I can guarantee it. Oh, Christ, that was close. Damn, that was close. I'm amazed. I'm honestly amazed I didn't get killed. The reason why I only did one bounce is because I only needed the one bounce. I ran into a wall there. That would have slowed me down. I'm gonna die. That's simply it. I'm gonna die. You can't make back any distance. You can't run faster to gain any distance. I'm gonna die in this section. See, I'm doing better this time. But the boulder is still catching up on me. So I didn't hit any of these. So far, I've hit nothing, right? I've not actually touched any of these, you know, either the... Too good. I didn't hit anything, like the time that I actually got killed, but, like, I still got killed. So it feels like you've got to be even more... You've got to be even more specific with it. Right. Now we have what I think is probably one of the longest levels in the game. But we're only an hour in, so I'm not doing too bad, I guess. Not to be rude to Alpha Omega Sin, right? But I watched him play it, and it took him 3 hours to get to the high road. But, like, holy sh... I don't blame him. Like, fuck me, it would have taken me, like, 3 hours to defeat Ripperoo if I hadn't, like, had to sit down calmly and think about it. Like, it would have taken me fucking probably even longer than that to do the high road the first time. Like, I don't blame him whatsoever for taking, like, you know, that long to get through it. Like, I don't feel... I mean, fuck it, I would have probably been that bad or worse. But, like... I'm feeling such an accomplishment that I'm only like I could possibly still do this in the 2 hours that I originally thought that I would do it in. Like I was going to say to my friend Sam, different Sam actually this time. It's strange. I got two friends at work, but well, one of them left recently. But like, I have a friend at work called Sam who also likes like Crash Bandicoot, and I blew his mind when I said I could beat the game in 2 hours, right? He was like 2 hours. I'm like, yeah, fucking 2 hours, man. And like, we he said he could like barely make it to like level 9 in 2 hours. And I was like, no, I could do the whole fucking game in 2 hours. And I was like so confident in my ability to play the original game that when I got this, I was like, yeah, I should be able to still do it in 2 hours, right? Fuck no, like, could I do it in 2 hours the first time I played the game? It took me half an hour. No, I think it really did take me back. Oh. What was that? What was that noise? Was that like... Nope. I think I'm trying to do this jump too early. I'm timing this all wrong, and I was jumping way too late. Oh shit. That's it felt like it picked up speed there randomly. Can't hurt to have a mask. If I'd been any further to the right, I would have just got pushed straight into a hole. I was too eager there. Trying to get through it too quickly. Tell you what, there are certain things in this that feel like I'm cutting it even closer than I would have normally. Alright. Oh shit. These are much easier than this one for some reason. Like, I remember fucking them up so bad. Like when you stand on one side for just a little too long and then it turns all the way the other way around. Like, so you're like, there's no way for you to get back on it and you just fall to your death and you're just sitting there like, oh shit, oh. Ooh, man, that was fucking close. That was bloody close. I tell you what, I am actually starting to enjoy this now. Like, now that I've figured out the controls, I used to actually despise this when I first started playing it. Like actually this time yesterday, I fucking hated this game because like I couldn't get it right, and I felt that it was the game's fault rather than mine. But it was well, it is kind of the game's fault because it doesn't have the same sort of. It's not the same, basically, and that's why I was ridiculously annoyed by the fact that why I couldn't play a game that was essentially the same game that I've been playing since I was fucking 6. So I make up a different age every time I say that was the first time I played Crash Bandicoot. I just don't remember. I know I obviously didn't get it when it came out. The worst part about getting a mask in a really complicated platforming section is the feeling that, like, well, I can still fall down a hole. Like, I might be invincible to any oncoming attacks, but if I fall down a hole, that's nothing I can do about that. Mask isn't going to help me there. Ooh, shit, that was close. There we go again, like... Fuck. See, shit, like, I didn't jump. I just didn't jump. Oh, now I gotta do it from here. I think that's the first one I got of these. Yeah. Didn't get another one. I don't know if they're. I can't remember where the boxes are that have them in. So I've obviously just missed them. Shit. I thought I was such hot shit because I got that. Oh, I'm not bothering with it this time. This is like one of the longest levels, it feels. And it's also one of the ones where like the platforming is like, I think at its best in a way. Like, because you have a lot of timing and things to figure out. Like, I've got to compensate for, like, the bats and the fire just in this small section. And then after that, I've got, like, these complicated wall things, right? Then I have to try and figure out what's the best way to not die while doing this, right? So, like, the platforming is, like, probably at its most challenging in some of these levels. Obviously not as challenging as, like, fucking Slippery Climb or anything like that. But, like, I really think that, like, these levels are like some of the best in the game. In both games, you know, even, you know, it's the same in the original, so. I think Crash 2 will be much easier now that I know the controls, or I'm used to like the way that they've designed Crash and stuff like that, I guess. It's probably back there somewhere, but I'm not going to go find it. Yeah, screw it, give it a go. Why the fuck not? See, unlike a lot of people, everyone seems to think the first game is the hard. Oh shit, almost pulled. Oh, I've unplugged the controller. But I guess it's probably charged now anyway. Might have been like 10 minutes. That's all the charging it needs. People, loads of people seem to think that the first Crash. Oh shit, that was lucky. The first Crash game's the hardest, but like I always found, because of like the challenges for like the gems and stuff in the second game, that the second one was probably the hardest. Because there is some hard shit in the second game. Like if you want to get the red gem, like there is some hard shit trying to do that. And then like the gold gem, if you want to get like the one in I think it's plant food or whatever the level is. That's really hard. Like you got to try and do the entire level, like well, up to a certain point in the level, in like 30 something seconds. So you have to essentially speed run the level, but if you die, that's it. You have to then exit the level and try again. It doesn't like give you another chance. Like you have to literally leave the level and then come back. So it is extremely unmerciful. But like, I guess if you want to do the same sort of thing in this, like, I guess if you want to do like fucking slippery climb and get the gem, then you'll have to do the entire level without dying once. When that's fucking impossible. Well, it's not impossible. It's just really hard. I think for like one of the playthroughs that I did on the main channel a couple of years ago, I actually accidentally got the pink gem, I think it is, from Slippery Climb, and I was like, holy shit. Like, oh my god. It's a shame I deleted that one to do the new one on the new channel, but what are you going to do? The thing is, I'm not afraid to make like ridiculously long videos on this channel. People will make their way through them. I got confidence in people. See, part of me likes some of the animations that they've chucked in here, and some of them are just unnecessary. Actually, the music in this level is great as well. I think they did a cracking job with like all of the boss music level, but not all of the main music, like the regular levels. Oh, I didn't do it in time. Didn't throw it. He didn't. I didn't do it in time. But I got 76 tries at this before I get a game over, and then I'll have 4 more tries after that, and 4 more tries after that. So well, I don't know why. I don't know what I was doing there, but it wasn't anything good. I think they made one of the easiest boss fights in the game like crazy hard, and I'm talking about Cortex's one, and we're going to get to that when I get to that, but I'm going to explain the problems I have with that particular one. when we get to it, because I think the way that they dealt with it was just sort of like kind of ham-fisted, and it makes things like unnecessarily difficult. See, this is almost a perfect replica, right? This boss fight is literally almost exactly the same as it is in the original. Like, I can't say that it's different because it isn't. That's it, he just gets carried away on a minecart. We didn't really defeat him. Like, we straight up, like, we blow up Ripperoo and then throw him down a river, right? We, like, knock out, fucking, I can't think of his name. Ripperoo. No, not Ripperoo. Papu Papu. That's the one I'm thinking of. Here we go.